Okay. Okay. Alright, bro. Alright, so. Bro, I go right now at 24-hour fit on LA Fitness right now, bro, and find the exact same players that he talking about, bro. Like, come on, bro. These players on there, they part-time hoopers, dog. They got families, dog. They got families, bro. They waking up 8 in the morning, bro. Like, you feel me, bro? They there you go, their hoop dreams is dead, man, but they still love the game, bro. We get it, man. I get what you're trying to sell. You know what I'm talking about, bro? I know you're really hooping every day. I get it, dog. You just came back to the internet, dog. It's something what you love to do. I'm not putting that away from you, dog. You know? But
Let's do
fam,
it,
you act
Xavier.
like you out here playing niggas like the next chapter level. Let's see you out there, nigga.
God bless
Come
your
on,
stream.
bro.
God bless you too, gang.
My stats in these leagues be crazy. Nigga, I be having 40-20 with 6 blocks against professional players. And I don't be having no subs. Nigga, I be in that bitch with the Gatorade symbol next to my name.
My bad, Chad. My bad.
Hitting my
Appreciate
second
whoever
and
liked
third
the
win.
stream,
Turn
man.
as
Appreciate
hell.
y'all.
Just smoked that morning and still giving niggas, bro, 30-20, 40-20. I ain't dropped 50 yet. It pissed me off. I haven't had a 50 game yet. Because niggas be double teaming.
Alright, you know what? You know what, so, bro? Let's just do it, man. Let's just do it, bro. I read enough of it, dog. Hey, man. I don't want no type of beat, bro. You know what I mean? I hope that we move past it back there, bro. Dog, you know we're supposed to play in the past, bro. You know I ain't scared to pull up. Alright? How about this right here, dog? Because this is what I want to do. Since you live weights and everything now, we'll get let's set up a time and schedule. We'll do the 1v1. I get that laugh for the next 2 weeks. Move up and whatever. I got to get ready for June anyway. You know I'm leaning out. I'm drinking beet juice and shit like that, bro. You know what I mean? And then right there, bro, let's do a weightlifting video. For your channel, you do the 1v1, and my channel, we do the weightlifting, bro. And we just go off from there, chat it up, bro. Shit, might you know, smoke some duck back together, bro. You know what I mean? Laugh about old times, dog. Let's just do it from there, bro. You know, I'm glad you're back on the net, dog.
That nigga Cash Nasty said he'll pull up on me May 29th. He said he would pull up on me on 1v1. And in this video, I got a nigga guarding me who got a Cash Nasty player deal.
Yo, appreciate it. Just like the stream, man.
Hey, that's how I know. So, hey, this shit.
What's up, Adrius?
Hey,
Gaspar?
this nigga really hooping though, bro.
Where you from,
He
bro?
let this shit die, dog.
Yo, Cash is gonna get destroyed, embarrassed, bro. I need to see that shit as soon as it drops.
What's
I'm
up,
mad
Jessica?
at The first 5 minutes, bro. Nah, the Cash shit is gonna be so.
Yo, when you in the stream, let me know where y'all watching from.
Cash not even doing.
As soon as y'all join.
Like, I'm not you, nigga. I'm not uncoordinated with the ball, bro. I can dribble the ball with both hands, dog.
Keep it cool, brother.
I can literally finger
More
roll the ball,
blessings
bro.
to you.
I can make
Appreciate
shots
that.
in a row. Bro, matter of fact,
Appreciate
y'all,
that
me and Blake, we
next-
got a 3-point
next
competition
exit.
coming up real soon, bro.
I think that's how you say your
Damn, I
name.
ain't gonna score.
Let me know where y'all from when y'all doing the stream.
Bro, alright.
Let me know where y'all watching the stream from.
I think that'll probably be like the fastest IRL on the internet.
That be fucked up, nigga, bro. I read a Soul Illuminati KO me with an elbow, bro, before they be the fastest one, dog. It could be a half fast thing. That's impossible. Bro, go ahead and get ready for
What
at least
candy
4 minutes of hack.
of your hairline is that you?
Alright? Just go ahead and prep, y'all. Y'all watch it right now. Prep
Bitch,
the video of it's gonna be
bitch,
4
if you don't
minutes
get
of
your boiled hot
hack.
dog
And the way he
water
talking
drinking
about,
ass,
it's gonna be on both ends. He said like he like to block shots, so
next time you ask me to eat my dick, dumb bitch, fuck wrong with you?
So I already know
I set your bitch ass in time out.
Just
Big
be
face
ready.
ass bitch. Fuck out of here. Before I annihilate your whole motherfucking life. Stupid looking ass. I'm from Northern Territory, Canada. Y'all got a place called Northern Territory in Canada? Where the fuck that's at? Where the fuck is Northern Territory? Or did you say, is you trying to say like North Toronto?
Get out of here.
What you trying to say, Ontario?
Wayne, liked your photo. My most irrational fear of humans. Oh, hell nah. Oh, hell nah, baby.
Yukon near Alaska?
She's cute.
What the fuck?
It's just for content, man. Shit not real. Fuck no.
I mean,
honestly don't be on Hinge.
I don't know where that's at, but shout out
so
to
serious.
North Territory
People think I'm trolling, but
or
I don't.
Yukon,
This is
whichever
just
one of them you
content,
live in. Shout out Canada, man.
But you know people not gonna believe me. Bro, it's 50 plus likes. I told you, nigga, I be locked in, boy. Nah, I don't know if I'm fucking with it though. I don't. I'm serious. I'm not gonna say anything yet. Jesus. Oh hell no. Oh yeah. My ego all fucked up. She's 40? I'm gonna skip. I'm sorry. Kennedy, the way to win me over is kisses. Oh. Whoa! That bitch had a bikini on? Whoa! 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 My Elo's fucked up? Tell me your best joke right now. The first time I knew I was gay was when my first girlfriend said, "Ew, girl, I think you're gay." Nigga, what? Nah, it's not my body. What is my Elo? Hard skip? What the fuck? Who are these niggas? Oh, hell no, I'm about to block your ass. Nigga, watch out, man. That's how you know I use the app. It's telling me to send likes. What is this Elo? Who are these? Oh, man. No disrespect. You know what? You cool, though.
Yeah, if you in the stream, like the stream, man. Let me know y'all watch, bro. Let me know where y'all niggas watching the fucking stream.
It's not my body. This gotta be a social experiment. Together we could go see a basketball game and see my favorite player is Kawhi. Y'all can't fight me on this. Your favorite player is Kawhi Leonard? Bro, I'm in bot lobby. CJ? 6 foot, and your name is CJ? Oh.
Jesus loves you, bro. Jesus loves you too, brother.
Are you a cat person because what?
Are you a person because I'm mildly allergic to cats?
Bro, my Elo. My Elo. Ari, pineapples on pizza, 27. What y'all think about this? Yo, Liquidity, appreciate that 5 gifted, my nigga. She smooth. She got some bitties, but nah.
What it do, nigga?
Alright, we'll just keep her in the maybe.
What up, Andy Smalls? Niggas, you white? You just called me a nigga?
Side views. So I told y'all that picture worked, nigga. Damn, I was skinny back then. I need to go back. Shit, I might go back to the waves. Chat, should I go back to the waves? Let me see what she look like. Oh, wait, she's not bad. Damn, y'all just call everybody ugly. Nigga, she not bad.
Oh, hell yeah,
Somebody's
player.
mom, how old she
Much
is? 30?
love.
23?
Shit, what up, nigga?
Pretty like a,
What up,
yeah, it's
Andy?
not
Where you
bad.
from,
Y'all
nigga?
just say anybody is ugly, my nigga. I thought she was like 28. She look older. Side views?
Oh, I think I watched this. Did I watch this?
This not bad. This some decent elo. Y'all just say everybody, if they don't have a BBL with titties, is ugly, bro. She's not an ugly girl, bro. Y'all do too much sometimes. No bullshit. I'm gonna bring up some shit she said. See, that's how you do it. Okay. Kiana, my Cry in the Car song is Because You Love Me by Celine Dion. I felt those lyrics in the depths of my soul. I legit cannot listen to it and not cry. Reminds me of my mom. Nigga, you just trauma dumped my nigga? Wait, she low-key got a chop easy. Jump shot all fucked up though. She got that set shot number 7. She went to UCLA? Oh shit, this nigga smart. I'm gonna keep her on the maybe. Wes. See what you got. Jesus. Oh nah. Okay, this picture not bad.
Yo, if you in the stream, subscribe, man. Smash that motherfucker subscribe button.
Okay,
Man.
I'm gonna put you.
Andy
Okay,
Smalls,
say
you
it.
still
See
in
what
here,
you
nigga?
My love language is words of affirmation and quality time. A nigga said she sucked her thumb. Nigga, I don't know. 26, short-term relationship. Let's get to know each other and have fun. Oh, she fucking. I mean, she's nice in person. That's pretty good, man. Hey, it's not bad though. This terrible elo? That's a shot? What should I say, y'all? Why y'all saying that's all me? Don't start doing this. Why y'all saying that's my shot? Yo, y'all niggas is so weird, bro. I don't have a type, bro. I swear I don't. What should I say? No, a nigga said 6 p.m. Saturday, be ready. Stop playing with me before I destroy you, boy.
Yo, if you're in the stream, like the stream, man, and subscribe. Like the
I can
stream, and
laugh with.
subscribe, nigga.
I'm just gonna bring up some shit she liked. She said she loved quality time. Nah, nigga, I'm not 30. I'm gonna just send a hey. Simple. What the note say? If you aren't one to make plans and meet in person, don't even match with me, not looking for a pen pal, locked. Why I'm not making no plans with you, boy. Alright, see what else we got. K. Lakers need a center. No, it's not my body. Radiate.
I'm about to scratch the fuck out my arm.
She's cool. Yep, chat, chill. She cool, bro. She's cool. That's a nice person. That's a nice person. Unfortunately, this is not my type. Day. See what you got. This year, I really want to travel, explore different restaurants, experience therapy, graduate, finish grad school, continue building a relationship with God. Okay. W. Christian. Glendale. Don't have children. My simple pleasures, a good night rest, a simple day, exercise and meditating, home cooked meals, spending time with friends and family. If you'd like to know more, let's match. Typical Sunday includes church, cleaning the house, washing clothes, cooking, catch up on my homework and TV shows. Nigga said Chrome. What does that even mean? Nah, I'm
gonna skip on that one. Yeah,
I think my favorite fun fact is that the same part of your brain that lights up for love and chocolate also lights up when you're high. So I just smoke a lot of weed.
What are you watching?
I go crazy for Nick Nack Paddywhack. What is she saying?
Somebody on some motherfucking app scrolling through. It's like, I don't know. I really don't know what the fuck I'm watching. It's some random ass video.
The nigga said had to mention chocolate. Bro, y'all are such fucked up people.
Where you
bro.
from, Andy?
That's so fucked up to say. I feel like she's a neck demon though. Keep that just in case. So fine. I appreciate that, Rihanna. Want to invest some income property? Appreciate that. Chill, y'all. I'm reading what y'all saying, but y'all wildin'. Whoa, her name maybe TOS. Let's talk over a glass of wine. Well, hold on, she not bad though.
Canada,
No,
Bronx,
she cool.
Ontario. Shout out motherfucking Canada, man. What y'all got going on up there? Shout out to
Oh, I
Maple
said some
Leafs
shots.
and the
You know, see
Raptors.
what you got. Oh, she want to add an IG? Hell no.
Even though they probably type trash.
Damn, I didn't respond to 55 people? Jesus. I literally been waiting till I got more likes to come like you. Do you agree or disagree that if I got more tattoos than you, I wear the pants in a relationship? I'm shot chucking? Okay, see what you got. Oh, she's Caucasian. She literally said she waited until she got more likes to come like me. Hey, she's sending a crazy shot though. Got the minis. My crying song in the car song is Throwaway by Future.
Whole
Neck
lot
Demon.
of left shit. Not a fun
Y'all
place to
cooking.
be.
I'll be like,
What you mean whole lot of left shit? What the fuck is left shit?
what should I say? That's a neck demon? I live and wait till I got more likes to come like you. I gotta be on some shit where it's like, y'all saying no thank you. Sometimes you gotta just finish the mission. Hashtag need that. I bet you that worked for her too. What I order for the table? Shots. Jay. Be honest and genuine with your intentions with me. I'm trying to crush.
Well,
No.
BS. I ain't talking like political shit.
Seriously,
I ain't really too into
she
that
didn't
type of shit, but I mean, shout out to all y'all political
sure
shit
that.
y'all got going on up there, man. I guess you ain't fucking with that, huh?
Your Elo all type of eyes? Bro, y'all be, bro, she's not bad. This is good Elo right here. This is good Elo. Bro, I have so many likes. She's too young for you. She's 20. Here we go with that bullshit again. I forgot, bro. I'm 24. And if someone's 20, that means Jadion needs to come and bust my door down. Here we go with this shit. I forgot. I forgot how you niggas are. I forgot. 24 years old. 24 years old. I forgot. Oh shit, TikTok is restricting my shit. Weird ass niggas. I totally forgot. Nigga said, see you in the next react. Yeah, y'all gonna see me on Jadion's video, bro. I forgot. I'm a 58-year-old nigga talking to somebody that's fresh. I forgot. Freshy 18, bro. 24 and 20. Jesus. Nigga, you were talking about 19 as 20. 17, not valid, but you're not doing this. I sincerely hope that you're raised, baby. If not, I'm gonna have to snatch that sub badge off your chest. What the fuck? Nah, I don't know this. It's in my ball. Hispanic? I don't know. What y'all thinking? I'm gonna hold that one. Jalen. Excuse that one. Alexandra. Excuse that one. Sheena. What you is? White? Hispanic? You got kids? Oh yeah, hard pass. Got me fucked up. I ain't take care of them little niggas. Morgan, see what you on? Got saying hard pass? Scholar?
If you want to stream, like the stream, man. Let me know what you niggas doing.
Backstar reaching this up. She cool, right? She decent? This is Latina jump. What y'all thinking? How old she is? 26? What the fuck is a trench foot demon? This a shot? Nigga saying all me. Well, basically when y'all said it, y'all disrespected me. Jazzy. I don't know how to skip for that picture. Amaya? Okay, wait, Armani? What is this? This picture's up here was crazy ball knowledge. So to get down. She bad? I'm putting her in the maybe category. Jada?
I don't know if that's a special talent. I would call it common sense because cooking is just common sense and reading. But I've been cooking since I came out the womb, since I came out the cooter cat. And yeah, it's in me, not on me, like for real.
Deja? Chat, y'all wildin', bro. So, Leah? Appreciate that sub, Al Tongs. See this. Sigh. Bro, I'm going through too. Hold on, man. We're gonna go through them. Gully? Oh, God. Julia? If you don't like big girls? Bro, I can't do this, bro. I can't do this, bro.
Honestly, just don't be fucking weird.
Trish. Oh my God. What the fuck is this? What the fuck? Oh my God. This gotta be a fake account. This shit looks like AI, bro. I'm gonna keep it a bar. This gotta be fake, bro. Say I'm all Nutella. Let me just see this. I'm gonna say what the chat just said. Someone said, say I'm all Nutella. That's a terrible shot, by the way. Shannon? That's what the nigga in the chat said. I'm just saying what he said. She white. Not bad, though. Cool with Shannon. I think I gotta change my pictures around. Bree.
What's up, Baron? Baron.
6 foot. Jesus, you need a hoop with me, my nigga. I'm gonna skip on this. Tisha.
What's up, Zendaya?
Natalie. Why is it all?
I think I do remember
Everybody's
you.
very beautiful. Everybody is very beautiful. What the? Brianna? What the fuck? My nigga, am I a bot lobbies, my nigga? She do look like a demon, though. I need a demon. Mariah? God damn, them yitties, my nigga. It's not bad, man. I might as well start saying hey to everybody. Chat, there's 2 chats. Hold up. Do I have 2 chats on the screen? Oh, there we go. Jania? Oh. Hey, shout out Jania, man. Khadijah? What tall you is? 5'10"? Hey. Shout out Khadijah, man. Nah, she cool though. Shout out Khadijah, man. Lottie? Oh my god. Nahira? That booty sitting. I love French fries. What y'all think about this? Valid? Zai? Oh, God. Hey, man. Oh, man. Hey, Charles Zai, man. Yeah, man, Josh. Shout out all my niggas, man. Shout out Zai, man. Abigail, what you look like? Oh, I have 2 dads. Oh, my.
Let me check out this video. So I think I'm watching this.
Arrested at age 16 for committing a $1 robbery, and basically spent the remainder of his youth in and out of jail until being released back to Bridgeport in 2001. There, he turned to the only thing that had been consistently there his entire life: crack sales. And Ossie-Bo's anger and tendency towards violence served him well in that world. With established cocaine connections, Ossie-Bo and Azikiwe set up a drug business that thrived on addiction at every level. Most of their so-called employees were simply crack addicts who were desperate enough to agree to anything, including turning over their rented apartments at 215 Charles Street to the Awkward brothers. By the summer of 2004, Ossie-Bo had taken over a second-floor unit, 211, where a man named James Pop Rucker had been living. While Rucker's name remained on the lease, he was no longer in charge. Ossie-Bo began to supply Rucker with satchels full of $10 vials of crack to sell, and when it was sold out, the drugs would be replaced. It was a 24-hour business, one that reportedly earned as much as $7,000 in a single day by selling just one product, the $10 vial. You knocked on the door, bought in a multiple of 10, and walked away. Sellers would be paid $100 per 46-pack of crack vials they sold, but often preferred drugs in lieu of payment. A nearby unit, apartment number 201, had a nice panoramic view of the entire block and was therefore used for surveillance. Azikiwe would sometimes stay there and keep an eye out for cops, as would Rodney Womble, known by many as Ossie-Bo's lieutenant, who was in charge of replenishing crack to the low-level dealers, as well as informing Ossie-Bo of any threats to their business. Rather than deal with lower-tier dealers directly, Ossie-Bo preferred to hand off crack to Rodney Womble, sometimes pulling up in a Cadillac Escalade near the Charles Street.
Yeah, if you're in the stream, like the stream, man.
But when it came to dealing with problems, Ossie-Bo got his hands plenty dirty. When Jackie Bryant's sales didn't line up with her cash on hand, Ossie-Bo beat her in the head with a ceramic ashtray. When Venro Fleming racked up a debt, Ossie-Bo put him in the hospital. When Frankie Hodges began using another crack supplier who rivaled with the Aquart brothers, Ossie-Bo knocked him down and stomped on him, breaking several bones. Others had guns pulled on him, or received punches in the face, but they were the lucky ones. While the customers who streamed to 211 on a daily basis are too numerous to name, they included Tina Johnson, a former elder caretaker who was in between jobs and fell prey to drug addiction. She and James moved in with Basil, while Tina continued to look for steady work. But sometimes she would buy extra crack from the 211 dealers in order to support her own habit. Then, in mid-2005, one bad batch of crack cocaine changed everything. For whatever reason, in the summer of 2005, the quality of crack that Ossie-Bo supplied the 211 dealers dropped. It was a momentary setback, one that's often expected in illegal business, but it hurt Ossie-Bo's bottom line in a noticeable way. And Tina didn't abide it. She found another person who was selling crack with a higher purity, and soon many of Ossie-Bo's customers began flocking to Tina's home at apartment 101 and cut off Ossie-Bo's operation altogether. While Ossie-Bo was aware less money was coming in, he wasn't exactly sure why. But Rodney Womble, perched beside the window at apartment 201, noticed everything. And it was he who informed Ossie-Bo that they had a problem with Tina Johnson. Ossie-Bo's response? Quote, "I'll take care of it." They tried threatening Tina at first, certain that she would buckle like so many had before. But Tina was no wilting violet. When Rodney Womble confronted Tina with a table leg and threatened her, she refused to back down. "Ain't nobody selling if I can't sell," she allegedly told Womble. That remark, taken to mean a threat that she would call the cops and inform them of what was going on at 211, likely sealed Tina's fate. But behind her facade, Tina was clearly worried about going up against the Aquart brothers, and she made plans with her son to get out of the Charles Street apartment building as soon as possible. But, tragically, Ossie-Bo and company were making plans of their own. Ossie-Bo and Azikiwe started rounding up helpers, but they went looking outside of their organization, in part due to their need to find someone who Tina wouldn't recognize and could pose as a crack buyer by knocking on her door. To do this, they recruited a man named Efren Johnson, the brother of Asibo's girlfriend, Lashika Johnson. After verifying that Tina had, in fact, failed to heed Rodney's earlier warning, the group headed to her door on the early morning of August 24, 2005, along with a fourth man, John Fitzgerald Taylor, an out-of-work bouncer and part-time marijuana seller for Asibo, who was to serve as a lookout. They kicked down Tina's door, armed with baseball bats and a pistol, held them all at gunpoint, and bound their arms and legs with duct tape. Taylor stayed by the door. He would later recall hearing muffled screams and loud thuds, and when he called out to Asibo, whom he knew as Dreddy, Asibo offered him a bet. Quote, "Yo, come and get you some." Taylor claimed that this is when he began to regret his role in the murders, told them he needed to leave, and fled the area. One by one, the remaining three filtered out, but not until after the last one in the building drilled the front door shut and climbed through the window, leaving Tina's son to discover the three bodies hours later. In the meantime, they went to Lashika Johnson's apartment carrying the drill and bags of bloody clothes, and instructed her to dispose of them in different dumpsters around town. For the Bridgeport police, identifying Asibo and Asakiwa as suspects was the easy part. But as they were still gathering evidence against the brothers, the case was turned over to the feds. Within weeks, the U.S. Attorney's Office built up a drug case against not just Asibo, but many in his organization, including Rodney Womble and eventually Asakiwa. Once far enough away from Asibo that he couldn't be violent towards them, many found that they no longer wanted to be loyal to him and began signing cooperation agreements. For you see, the feds weren't just on this case for the drug element. They intended to file RICO charges against Asibo, Asakiwa, Efren, and Taylor. Under the legal theory, the crack cocaine ring at Charles Street had been something called the Acquart Enterprise, and that the triple homicide was therefore a racketeering crime as well. When Efren was detained for questioning in the case in 2007, he made a series of blunders that basically cemented his fate. First, by denying any first-hand knowledge of the murders, then claiming that he'd spat on Tina during an argument, after the FBI informed him his DNA was found in apartment 101. When the FBI told him that the DNA sample was not saliva, but skin cells found on the duct tape, Efren appeared dejected, then asked the FBI agent in earnest if they could restart the interview and forget everything he'd said. He then went on to claim that John Taylor, whom he referred to as the big guy, had pulled out a metal rod from his pants and beaten the victims, but that he'd witnessed no one else even possessing a blunt instrument. By 2009, with the help of cooperation from John Taylor, Rodney Womble, Frankie Hodges, Lashika Johnson, and others, they were ready to file a murder indictment. Asibo's trial began in April 2011, with Taylor as the star witness. Quote, "People got killed for no reason. They shouldn't got killed," he told jurors when it was his time to take the stand. "When I said they shouldn't got killed, it never should have gone to the point it went to." The testimony by former members of the so-called organization, like Taylor and Womble, was only bolstered when jurors learned that the killers had left DNA and or fingerprints all over the scene. Asibo was convicted of 3 murders, but things weren't quite done yet. The feds not only wanted convictions against Asibo, they wanted to kill him. During the penalty phase of the trial, Asibo's lawyers painstakingly went through his horrific childhood and pointed out that Asibo was going to get life in prison with little chance for release if they chose to forego the death penalty. The prosecution used the callous nature of the murders and said that Asibo sent letters signed "Top Gangsta," in which he attempted to elicit false testimony from potential witnesses to paint him as a remorseless killer. In the end, the jury recommended that the United States District Judge Janet Bond Arterton impose a death sentence. On November 29, 2012, the Italian government lit up the Roman Colosseum at night to commemorate the state of Connecticut formally ending its death penalty. Ironic, as the Colosseum is the very location where hundreds of Roman gladiators fought to the death for government-sponsored sports in front of cheering crowds. But because Ossie-Beau was being prosecuted in federal court, this change in state policy had no bearing on Ossie-Beau's prosecution. He went before Judge Arterton on
How
December
many people
17,
watching this?
2012, just 3 days after the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in Newport, Connecticut, that left the nation, but especially the state, deeply
Shit, I don't know.
rattled and disturbed by
2,
the senseless
3.
massacre. Before Ossie-Beau was formally sentenced to die, Tina's daughter, Latavia Whittingham, had this to say. When this whole thing started and I came into court, he, Ossie-Beau, was
Shit, how many
brought into
people you
court.
think watching,
He
nigga?
looked at me and told me that this was just business. It wasn't personal. But he was wrong. It was extremely personal. He took the love of my life. 1 month after Ossie-Beau's conviction, Azikiwe took a plea deal that acknowledged his brother's role in the murder, and he was sentenced to life. As for Efren, his blunderous interview with the FBI was a harbinger of continual self-caused problems throughout the legal process. Judge Arterton refused to accept his plea deal, and he went on trial in 2012.
Yo, if you're watching the stream, like the stream,
Then
man.
acquitted by Arterton, who
Like the
basically ruled that
motherfucking
while
stream.
Efren may have participated in the murders, he didn't know enough to have
Like the
actually
stream and
committed
subscribe.
under federal law. So Efren was tried in state court, convicted once
What's
again,
up, Kim?
and
Kim?
sentenced to 50 years in Connecticut.
Kim?
state
Kim?
prison.
Kim?
Ironically,
Kiminlaby?
this sentence is roughly
Kiminlaby?
15 years more than what federal prosecutors would have
Rizwa?
sought had he gone through with the
What?
original plea deal.
I don't know how to say your name, bro.
But Ossie-Beau
I'm gonna call you
sought
KL.
justice
What's
like
up, KL?
here. In 2019, a federal appeals court overturned his death sentence, ruling prosecutors improperly discredited Efren's version of what happened the morning of the murders through 2 compounding errors that misled the jury. Ossie-Beau's supporters launched an effort to free him from prison, thrusting his life since his prison sentence into public view. While serving time on federal death row was hardly a stable environment, it had provided Ossie-Beau with enough day-to-day consistency that he was able to be productive in ways that he never was back in Bridgeport. He became a scholar and an inventor, learning about Shakespeare, organizing soup drives, and creating educational games, a medical device, and a portable pet washing kennel, among other inventions. Ossie-Beau's bid for freedom failed. In October 2021, he was resentenced to life in the federal prison system. Starting with the publication of this video, Killer Chronicles is now offering memberships on Patreon. If you would like to see uncensored videos and get bonus content that cannot be shown on YouTube, as well as receive early access to news stories, this is the place for you. Memberships are $5 per month. We promise to make it worth your while. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support. I thank y'all for y'all support and liking my stream.
Switch to Google Fi
And subscribe,
Wireless
man.
and get the unlimited premium
Y'all
phone
real
plan
niggas for
with
that,
extra
man.
perks like 6 months of YouTube Premium on us. You can stay connected on the go
Shut the
with
fuck
internet.
up, Google.
I guess I need your help. I got something tied up I need gone. Those words were texted to an Oklahoma woman named Jennifer Moore Porgo from her friend, Matthew Onsimo Armstrong. Jennifer drove up to Armstrong's remote property in Seminole County, Oklahoma, perhaps assuming that she was needed for a quick errand. But when she arrived at the modest home, surrounded by the woods on Road 363, Jennifer was greeted by the sound of a woman's blood-curdling scream in the distance. The cries were coming from Nicole Marlene Owl, a woman who had spent the better part of the past day tied to a tree. Matthew Armstrong and his roommate, Nicholas Faulkner, were responsible. 2 days earlier, Armstrong had confronted Nicole with allegations that she had stolen $200, marijuana, and about 3.5 grams of meth, and hidden the stash somewhere in the woods. When she denied it, Armstrong tied her down with extension cords and left to retrieve his father's SKS rifle from a property nearby. But his rage was about much more than just the missing items. For you see, Armstrong was a part of something bigger, a prison gang called the Indian Brotherhood, widely considered to be the most dangerous and violent gang within Oklahoma prisons. Like most prison gangs, the Indian Brotherhood's lifeblood is contraband smuggling, and Armstrong was one of the many members on the outside tasked with keeping the supply chain moving. His crucial role in the gang involved stockpiling drugs, tobacco, cell phones for others to smuggle into Oklahoma prison yards controlled by the Brotherhood, and to protect the gang's property from rivals and thieves. Nicole Owl had now placed herself at odds with not just Armstrong, but a vast criminal enterprise with a chilling history of murder and mayhem. Now her life hung in the balance. If this scene sounds petrifying to you, you'll soon learn that it is simply one of a string of similar crimes that have earned the Brotherhood its reputation as a gang perfectly willing to kill not just rivals, but innocent women and unborn children who simply happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. We'll be giving you an insider's view of the Indian Brotherhood as told by those who witnessed its violent legacy firsthand. It's a story told through the lens of a gang that thrives in some of the most debaucherous conditions known to man, connecting the world of sleazy meth markets on the Great Plains with the supposedly glamorous lifestyle found in high-end Nevada brothels. This is the Killer Chronicles. Throughout the United States, there is no other place that has become more synonymous with Native American history and subjugation than Oklahoma. Formerly known as simply Indian Territory, it was the destination of the Trail
Are we
of
all
Tears,
getting naked on stream
ground
again?
zero for the near extinction
Nigga, what?
of millions of bison during the 19th century,
Oh, hell no.
and home to dozens of tribes
By the time
and
you out,
tribal
nigga.
nations, many of which
About to
were
annihilate
forced
you.
into the Indian Removal Act of 1830. To this day, Native tribes are prevalent in Oklahoma, much more so than most other places, which has created unique challenges regarding jurisdictional issues and sovereignty. It should be no surprise, then, that Oklahoma is also home to one of the largest and most powerful Native prison gangs, which has spread not just into the Oklahoma Department of Corrections, but also nationwide, as a groundbreaking Supreme Court case drastically changed how crimes in Native lands can be prosecuted. The Indian Brotherhood uses the initials IBH, or the corresponding numbers 928, which are commonly tattooed on members' bodies, often with feather-style letters. They sport tattoos of traditional indigenous face markings and often refer to themselves or one another as warriors as well as brothers.
Take what you do best and create a website that's worthy of it. With AI.
I don't know how bad I actually want to watch that one. I wanted to watch
You're
this
arrested at
one.
age 16 for committing a $1. Imagine you are walking through a big American city. You pass a homeless man with a shopping cart inside him. And in the blink of an eye, everything changes. Suddenly, you've been placed in a bear hug and dragged backwards into a van where two others are waiting. They hog-tie you and duct tape your eyes shut. Then take you to a secluded area where you are informed that you will only be released if one of your loved ones is able to cough up hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash or property. For dozens of people living in the Chicago area during the early 2000s, this scenario became a disturbing one. For years, a group of elite professional kidnappers operated in secret, targeting members of the city's underworld who were thought to be untouchable. Some victims were tortured, others were murdered. Almost all were treated like property, kept in a desolate area for days without bathroom breaks while the ransoms were being negotiated. But time and again, something curious happened.
Jesus
Just
Christ.
when all hope seemed lost, the very same rich benefactor stepped up to pay the kidnappers off and save the day. The victims were so grateful that they signed over their homes, turned over hundreds of kilos of cocaine, or paid him back in full in cash after gaining their freedom. The story behind this mysterious group would eventually be brought to the surface, and in the process, expose secrets of Chicago's lucrative drug trade, corruption in law enforcement, and shocking betrayals that called into question the true value of friendship among thieves. Today's story starts on July 8th, 1999, at an apartment complex on West New York Street in Aurora, Illinois. It was on this date and place that a Chicago narco cop named Glenn Llewellyn arrested Refugio Cortez Ruiz for allegedly having 10 kilograms of cocaine, after he alone spotted Refugio possessing the drugs, while a police surveillance team surrounded the complex in which he lived. Refugio would loudly proclaim his innocence throughout the court process, but as a star witness at the trial, Llewellyn would testify that he observed Refugio Cortez Ruiz poke his head out from an apartment as if he was expecting company, and eventually emerge with a duffel bag that turned out to be full of cocaine. Ruiz Cortez insisted that he'd been framed, that the drugs had been planted on him, but most people who heard this story wrote it off as the excuse of a man who was desperate to escape responsibility after being caught red-handed. He was convicted and sentenced to 17 and a half years in federal prison. A decade would go by before anyone in law enforcement entertained the possibility that Ruiz Cortez had actually been telling the truth. What few people knew at the time was that 3 years earlier, in 1996, Officer Glenn Llewellyn had signed a secret cooperation agreement with a confidential informant, whose work with the Chicago police was paying big dividends, both figuratively and literally. He was the man who tipped Llewellyn off about drugs at Refugio's apartment, and he likely made $10,000 from this information. Within Chicago police sealed records, this secret informant's name was Bill Pager. To those on the streets, he was known by his real name, Saul Rodriguez. And despite his young age, he was fast making a name for himself as a charmer with a knack for networking and earning huge amounts of cash by selling major weight. Saul was a Chicago native who knew his way around the city's drug trade better than most. At just 21, he'd been busted with 13 pounds of marijuana and $8,000 in cash, and it was Officer Glenn Llewellyn who slapped the handcuffs on him. Llewellyn grew up in New Lenox, Illinois, and worked construction in his 20s. But when he joined Chicago Police in 1986, it was the fulfillment of a lifelong dream. By 1996, as Saul was a rising drug dealer, Llewellyn was an up-and-coming narcotics officer. And in a place like Chicago, that meant he had his work cut out for him. Saul's arrest offered a drug cop like Llewellyn a good opportunity to break into the world of drug trafficking from the inside, and Llewellyn immediately worked to put the squeeze on Saul. With Saul still handcuffed in the back, they drove in Llewellyn's patrol car to one of Saul's stash houses, where police were actively searching. The two watched the officers from afar, as Saul pondered whether he'd rather go to prison for whatever they were about to find in his apartment, or go a different route. 3 weeks later, Saul made his choice official. He signed a cooperation agreement with Llewellyn, establishing that Saul would provide information.
Yo, if you're in the stream, like the stream, man.
Llewellyn on a rolling basis.
Like the stream and
He wasn't
subscribe.
working for free. His new supervisor assured him that he'd be paid $1,000 per kilogram of cocaine the police seized. Of course, the agreement said that Saul had to obey the law and cease all unauthorized drug dealing activities. Instead, he saw his newfound status as a paid government informant to simply turn in the competition while continuing to sell drugs like never before. Now, he'd make money from kilos of cocaine seized by narcs like Llewellyn, while also making cash hand over fist through selling cocaine in large quantities all over town. It was a kind of deal that allowed someone to evolve from a kid who'd grown up around gangs in Chicago's back-of-the-yards neighborhood into a high roller with plenty of cash to burn and invest. But just 7 months into his work as a paid snitch, one of Saul's drug couriers was busted with 15 pounds of marijuana by the DEA, who had been secretly working with the mechanic Saul had hired to install secret compartments inside his courier cars. Once again, he could have ended up in prison if not for Glenn Llewellyn, who made a quick call to DEA Special Agent Al Dozier and got the investigation tabled. With that, he realized that he had something that few drug dealers ever experience: immunity from the law. And if there's ever a place where a drug dealer could use legal immunity to thrive, it's Chi-Town. While every metropolitan area in the United States is of course a major drug market, Chicago is uniquely situated. It is a central nervous system for numerous important freeways, railroads, ports, and a major airport. 70% of the U.S. population, as well as the Mexico border, rests within 1 day's drive from Chicago. Inside the city itself are an estimated 100,000 gang members who may be willing and eager to make a living peddling drugs in whatever form they can. The U.S. Department of Justice, as well as the Mexico border, rests within and a major airport. 70% of the U.S. population for numerous important freeways, railroads, ports, and a major airport. 70% of the U.S. population, as well as the Mexico border, rests within 1 day's drive from Chicago.
Jesus
Inside the
Christ.
city itself are an estimated 100,000 gang members who may be willing and eager to make a living peddling drugs in whatever form they can. The U.S. Department of Justice has consistently ranked Chicago as either the #1 or #2 destination of America's most used imported narcotics, like heroin, cocaine, or marijuana.
Damn.
It should be no wonder, then, that the notorious drug lord and head of the Sinaloa cartel, Joaquin Lorea, better known as El Chapo, referred to Chicago as his, quote, home port. After all, the city...
This nigga, what? What did he do? What did he say? Copy. For the first time since the days of the 1930s. To apply the example of Bruce Line. Mexico. The major provider of narcotics. The major provider of narcotics for 5 counties. Chicago area, not to mention some. The authorities just broken down. Explanation from Cruz clear in a 2006 conversation monitored by Mexico police, according to a Bloomberg Markets magazine investigation, that he wanted to make Chicago his home port. Jesus Christ. They'll read her, but fuck it. Damn. And it practically is shit.
It should be no wonder, then, that the notorious drug lord and head of the Sinaloa cartel, Joaquin Lorea, better known as El Chapo, referred to Chicago as his, quote, home port. After all, the city helped to make him a billionaire, and 2 of its most famous residents, brothers named Margarito and Pedro Flores. After all, the city helped to make him a billionaire, and 2 of its most famous residents, brothers named Margarito and Pedro Flores, played a major role in this.
Yeah, I remember.
Known as the Twins, the Flores brothers ultimately went from ultra-rich coke dealers to snitches whose testimony proved crucial for sending El Chapo to the most secure prison on American soil. But in the early 2000s, they were cocaine entrepreneurs and responsible for the distribution of 1 to 2 tons of cocaine every single month.
What? Key called an international network taking delivery of about 2 tons of cocaine each month, as well as a large quantity of heroin between 2005 and 2008, authorities said. God damn.
That kind of weight will earn you just as many friends as enemies. And one of the guys
Less
on
than
their
2
lengthy
times.
list of friends was Saul Rodriguez himself. Like the Flores brothers, Saul was becoming a millionaire as well. But he had Chicago's public coffers just as much as the cocaine powder to thank for it. Another one of Saul's close friends was
$250
Juan
million
Nuevano,
paid.
aka Baby G. And their bond was so strong, they'd made a pledge to never sleep with a woman who the other had dated. Unfortunately, Nuevano allegedly broke this pact by having sex with the mother of Saul's kid, and it angered Saul so much that he set out for revenge. In October 1999, he asked Glenn Llewellyn what would have to happen for someone to go to jail for a long time. Shortly thereafter, Nuevano was arrested by a Chicago PD squadron with 2 kilograms of cocaine. But Nuevano's stint in jail was a brief one. He quickly paid bail and was back out on the street.
Damn.
Nuevano likely would have been eventually sent to prison for a long time, just like Refugio Cortez Ruiz. But we'll never know for sure. That's because in 2000, Juan Baby G. Nuevano was gunned down outside of his home after returning from a night of drinking at a nearby club. Because he was a member of the La Raza gang, his death was quickly written off by the media.
Yo, if you're in the stream, like the stream, man, like the fucking stream, like the fucking stream, like the fucking stream.
It morphs into bits of data.
Make sure you like the fucking stream and you
The
fucking
likely
subscribe,
results
nigga.
of
Smash that
another gang
motherfucking
feud
subscribe button.
in one of America's most violent
Before I
cities.
split your motherfucking head open.
Saul's work as an informant continued to be lucrative.
Like, what happened?
From 1996, in one of America's most violent cities. Saul's work as an informant continued to be lucrative. From 1996 to 2001, he made over $800,000 in public funds for his work as a paid informant, enough to make him technically one of the highest paid employees of the Chicago Police Department. But apparently, this tax-free 6-figure income, only supplemented by his work as a drug dealer, was not enough for Saul. So he hatched a bold plan, applying his insider knowledge of drug trafficking to form an even more devious result. He would form a squadron of gangsters, ex-cons, and drug couriers to kidnap high-risk targets who could supply millions in ransoms or stashed cocaine. And they would specifically target people with the power and resources to put Saul and his squad 6 feet under if they were ever found out, including local drug barons under the protection of the Sinaloa cartel. Saul's inner circle soon came to include guys like Fares Umar, another Chicago native who Saul knew from basketball gyms around town, or David Venegas, the husband of one of Saul's longtime drug and cash couriers, Lisette Venegas, who'd established mutual trust over the years. Then there were the Uriarte brothers, Hector, Jorge, and Manuel, a trio of guys with ties to the City Knights gang, who were so eager for access to Saul's underworld connections that Manuel had offered himself up as a hitman. But out of all of these folks, Manuel, a trio of guys with ties to the City Knights gang, who were so eager for access to Saul's underworld connections that Manuel had offered himself up as a hitman. But out of all of these folks, one man offered more knowledge and expertise than any others could have hoped to. This was because he knew better than the rest that the smoothest type of caper was one that didn't first appear to the victim to be a kidnapping or a robbery at all. His name was Officer Glenn Llewellyn of the Chicago Police Department. Stash houses started getting hit. A home in Will County was taken for 80 kilograms of cocaine. Another on Kenneth Avenue, Chicago, was hit for $1.5 million in drug money. by men who burst in with police badges, vests, and guns and duct taped the occupants' eyes shut. The grandmother of Saul's drug courier, Lisette Venegas, who was grabbed outside a bar she owned, hog-tied and left without bathroom breaks, food, or water for 2 days until her family finally coughed up $180,000 in ransom. Lisette was fully aware of the plot and played along as her family stressed over the ransom demand. Not everyone escaped with their life. A drug supplier named Miguel de la Torre was lured to a parking garage near an apartment building owned by Saul, with the promise he'd be paid for some cocaine he'd fronted to him. Instead, he was hooked up to a car battery, burned, and eventually strangled when he refused to give up the name of his cocaine supplier, with his body left in the trunk of his Nissan and dumped in another part of town. The local owner of a rim and tire shop was bear-hugged by a man posing as a homeless person, who forcibly dragged him into a van where he was blindfolded and taken to a garage. He spent days there, begging friends and family for money, until his good buddy, Saul Rodriguez, came to the rescue. Saul had hung out at the victim's rim shop for years, and even offered to invest in it. Now here was Saul saving him from great bodily injury or death. The rim shop owner paid the ransom back to Saul through cash, wire payments, and property transfers over the next 3 years. They used these phony arrest ploys in other ways too. When someone in Saul's crew wanted to blow off a drug debt, they arranged for the person to be fake arrested in full sight of the loaner, ostensibly while he was coming back to pay back what he owed. But the loaner was not an easy dupe. Saul's response was to purchase a newer Crown Victoria and modify it to look like an undercover Chicago police car for them to use moving forward. In 2003, they'd used the Crown Victoria for one of their highest profile targets yet. They decided they would kidnap one of the twins. By then, Llewellyn had retired from the Chicago Police Department and started his own construction business. But he and Saul stayed in touch. Saul knew Pedro and Margarito Flores from playing basketball with them at the Hoops Gym in Chicago. They were hard men to track down, but Saul had guys in his circle who'd buy 20 to 30 pounds of cocaine from the twins directly, and he used random tidbits of information to his advantage. For instance, when one of Saul's business associates mentioned the twins had recently purchased brand new motorcycles, he passed this information on to the surveillance team to help locate exactly where their target resided. When Saul was planning his abduction, he was also helping the twins score tickets to an Oscar de la Hoya bout in Las Vegas. The kidnapping went off just like so many others. Pedro Flores was pulled over in his light blue Lexus and arrested, only to discover, once it was too late, that he was really the victim of an abduction. While he was being taken to a secure location, someone else was getting his Lexus off the middle of the street and parking it somewhere that it wouldn't attract attention. Saul monitored the situation from a distance, concerned that if he got too close to the hostage, that Pedro would recognize his voice and he would be exposed. Instead, Saul had Fares Umar call Pedro's family from payphones and gave him a script of what to say. They told Margarito to leave a large amount of cocaine at a predetermined location while the surveillance team watched from a distance. When this was done, the group readied themselves to drop Pedro off somewhere in Chicago until they tested the cocaine and realized they'd been given extremely low-quality drugs instead of the fish scale level that they were expecting. So, Fares Umar told Pedro to get on the phone and yell at Margarito, his brother, and tell him he wasn't taking the situation seriously enough.
Last time I counted, there was 8 billion of us, all chasing our own stories.
It worked. The group was eventually given 180 kilos of acceptable quality cocaine and made $750,000 from the sales, splitting the proceeds based on who had done what during the kidnapping. After it was all over, Saul, Pedro, and Margarito bumped into each other at the De La Hoya fight and had a cordial talk. But the brothers suspected Saul and kept their eye on him from then on. Soon after their success with the twins, another victim was chosen. His name was Teodor Bueno, and the crew had pegged him as a local drug dealer who'd make an easy shakedown. Rather than his normal crew, Saul decided to use David Venegas and a local bodybuilder named Charles Duer, who'd die of a heart attack years later. Saul deviated from his usual go-to guys like the Uriarte brothers, because he figured he could pay David and Charles less. This proved to be a regrettable choice. When Fares Umar and the others attempted to pull Bueno into a minivan outside his Chicago home by disguising themselves as cops, Bueno's wife saw what was going on and rushed outside to help. The kidnappers told her it was, quote, police business, but she didn't buy that for a second and attempted to block the van in the driveway. They were eventually able to get away, but not until after she got a good enough look at the van to memorize a good description of it. Things continued to go wrong from here. After the initial abduction, Duer decided he wanted nothing to do with this and simply walked away. Next, Bueno's wife informed the kidnappers that she'd been able to come up with $800,000 in ransom within a few hours, a quickness that the kidnapping crew was unaccustomed to. Fares Umar was now worried that they were walking right into a trap, and even more so when on the way to collect the ransom, he noticed what he believed were numerous unmarked police cars. But Saul told him he was overreacting and urged him to plow ahead. Of course, Umar's suspicions were correct. When he arrived at the ransom drop, undercover cops made themselves known. He was taken into custody after a short police chase. In an interview room, he lied to the cops, claiming Bueno owed him drug money and leaving Saul and David's names out of the whole thing. Saul returned the favor by posting Umar's bail and purchasing him a lawyer. But Umar was no fool. He knew Saul well enough to know that these nice gestures were Plan A to ensure Umar wouldn't talk. Plan B would obviously be to murder him. Because he was caught red-handed, he was sentenced to state prison for kidnapping, without ever implicating his accomplices. But Saul had other legal problems. Informants had told the DEA he was a cocaine dealer, and by 2006, the feds were zeroing in on a warehouse that Saul was renting from its owner, Glenn Llewellyn. During the raid, Llewellyn asked the feds why they were there. When he found out it was Saul, he cut ties, repaid a $500,000 investment they jointly put into some real estate, and also allegedly used a DEA source to verify that Saul was being wiretapped, then warned him to get rid of his phone. By 2009, Fares Umar agreed to work with the DEA, signing an agreement that implicated Saul and other members of the crew in kidnappings, thefts, and murders. The following year, the U.S. Attorney's Office obtained an indictment against Saul, the Uriarte brothers, Glenn Llewellyn, and others. Now Saul was in jail without bail, with about 20 different paths to a life sentence. So what do you suppose Saul did at this point, now that the feds had made their move? Once again, he decided to betray those closest to him. In an agreement with the feds, Saul admitted to 1 attempted murder, 14 kidnappings involving 29 victims, and a cumulative theft of 785 kilograms of cocaine and $2,783,500 in cash. He also admitted to ordering the murders of his one-time best friend, Juan Levano, Miguel de la Torre, and a Latin Kings member named Michael Snoop Garcia, whom Saul arranged to be killed at the behest of a Satan's Disciples member whose brother Garcia allegedly ran over with a vehicle. In exchange for these admissions, Saul was supposed to get a relatively lenient sentence, but he'd have to testify first. Of course, never satisfied with leaving things to chance, Saul decided to hedge his bets by obtaining a contraband cell phone and attempting to have a witness against him murdered from jail, all while maintaining his cooperation agreement with the federal government. Saul became the star witness at trial for 5 men who knew one another through Saul, had taken orders to commit violent crimes from Saul, but were now on the cusp of facing life in prison thanks to the testimony of Saul. But as the trial progressed, it became clear he was just as much help to the defense as he was to the prosecution. His long record of lying, murdering, kidnapping, backstabbing, and being willing to do just about anything when his feet were to the fire made him easy fodder during cross-examination. Ultimately, almost none of the accusations that rested solely on Saul's testimony resulted in convictions. But there were enough supplementary witnesses to convict all 5 men of serious charges nonetheless, including Glenn Llewellyn. While the jury wasn't able to reach a verdict on counts of racketeering or kidnapping, they did convict the ex-cop of conspiracy to distribute cocaine, a charge that described Llewellyn's role in the conspiracy as being actively involved in robberies and kidnappings to seize cocaine and resell it. The final result of this case was without rhyme or reason. Many of the defendants received out-of-balance punishments that didn't fit their crimes. A man named Andres Flores admitted to 2 murders, kidnapping a band leader, his wife and kids during a home invasion, and major thefts of cocaine, but only got 14 and a half years in prison because he cooperated. Jorge Uriarte, meanwhile, got 42 years for involvement in 8 kidnappings and allegations he participated in the murder of Miguel de la Torre. Another crew member named Tony Sparkman,
Damn, I ain't see all these fucking messages.
of Saul's crew, also got 42 years for conspiracy to distribute cocaine. Even Judge Joan
What's up,
Gottschalk,
Ruham?
who presided over the case and handed down the sentences, thought they were unfair. Quote, "None of the sentencing makes any sense to me. I mean, we've got these people who strike me as incredibly dangerous to society who are going to get out of prison really soon." Then she brought up Faris Umar, noting that he had only 3 years left to serve, and how, quote, "very scary that was." As for Saul, it turned out that he tempted fate one too many times. While in jail, he accepted a $6,000 payment from the famous drug lord Vicente Zambada Niebla of the Sinaloa cartel. Money that Saul was paid for the whereabouts of Pedro Flores and Margarito Flores, so Zambada could have the relatives killed to discourage the Flores brothers from testifying against him. Unfortunately for Zambada, this plot not only failed, but the Flores twins are now minor celebrities, subjects of a successful podcast and a biographical TV deal involving 50 Cent, all due to their work taking down El Chapo and the other leaders of the cartel. After Saul's murder-for-hire deal with Zambada became known, the feds decided they'd had enough with Saul Rodriguez. They tore up his cooperation agreement, and he was sentenced to 40 years in prison at a hearing where he blubbered and cried for 10 minutes, telling Judge Gottschalk that he'd seen the light and, quote, "didn't want to do bad no more." But his performance took a hit when the sister of Juan Baby G. Luevano showed up to remind the judge, the other leaders of the cartel. After Saul's murder-for-hire deal with Zambada became known, the feds decided they'd had enough with Saul Rodriguez. They tore up his cooperation agreement, and he was sent to Zambada Niebla of the Sinaloa cartel. Money that Saul was paid for the whereabouts of Pedro Flores and Margarito Flores, so Zambada could have the relatives killed to discourage the Flores brothers from testifying against him. Unfortunately for Zambada, this plot not only failed, but the Flores twins are now minor celebrities, subjects of a successful podcast and a biographical TV deal involving 50 Cent, all due to their work taking down El Chapo and the other leaders of the cartel. After Saul's murder-for-hire deal with Zambada became known, the feds decided they'd had enough with Saul Rodriguez. They tore up his cooperation agreement, and he was sentenced to 40 years in prison at a hearing where he blubbered and cried for 10 minutes, telling Judge Gottschalk that he'd seen the light and, quote, "didn't want to do bad no more." But his performance took a hit when the sister of Juan Baby G. Luevano showed up to remind the judge and the public that Saul appeared just as sincere when he showed up to Luevano's funeral in 2000, crying and ostensibly mourning a murder that he had both ordered and...
If you want to roll with style, bring the sabor.
I was doing the stream like the stream, man.
and profited from. As for Glenn Llewellyn, after cutting ties with Saul, he had left Chicago for Las Vegas, where he found Jesus and became a church-going business owner with strong family ties, according to his lawyers. Without directly admitting to any crimes or showing remorse, Llewellyn argued that his life in Chicago was behind him, and nothing.
Bro, what school is this? And why y'all keep riding past this motherfucker? This look like that fucking school that
Nothing was to be gained from locking up a man in his 50s with health problems, who was sure to be mistreated when he got behind bars, and people discovered who he was. Llewellyn was given 18 years in prison, but just 7 years into the sentence, he was granted an early release and set free due to health reasons. During his time of incarceration, he filed court papers claiming that his only true crime was involvement in illegal gambling, and that during trial, he was placed in a situation where he would have had to admit to gambling crimes in order to defend himself from the RICO charges. He made this argument unironically, as if betting on sporting events was the legal and moral equivalent of hog-tying and robbing cocaine traffickers alongside men who murdered people and flooded the streets with drugs. At any rate, Llewellyn is now in his late 60s and has stayed out of legal trouble since his release, nearly 4 years ago. We'll end this story with an update on the case of Refugio Cortez Ruiz, the man who was sentenced to 17 and a half years in prison after Llewellyn arrested him for possessing 10 kilos of cocaine in 1999. During the investigation, the true story behind Cortez Ruiz's arrest became known. While there were some definite indications that Refugio Cortez Ruiz was involved in cocaine, these new revelations about his arrest made the case unprosecutable. He was released from federal prison in 2009 after serving 10 years for a crime that federal prosecutors now admitted was built on the word of a man they no longer trusted. Refugio Cortez Ruiz later sued the city of Chicago and received a $400,000 settlement, less than half of what the city of Chicago had paid Saul Rodriguez as he robbed, kidnapped, murdered, and arranged for men to be framed. All
Damn, so is that? Oh yeah, it is. Is that a problem she got about water? That's tough. That's pretty fucking nice. I don't see it. What the fuck?
while holding himself up as the most valuable police informant in town.
I gotta realize something, right? I'm speaking to for all my young girls out there that's 14, 15, 16, 17, and y'all getting influenced by these girls doing this shit and thinking that when you become of age, you want to do it. Try life first. Don't just rush and think, okay, when I turn 18, 19, I'm gonna start doing this weird shit. Give life a chance, my nigga. Go to school. You can become a millionaire in so many other ways. You can start your own business, my nigga. You don't have to turn 18, 19, the first thing you start thinking is, let me show a picture of my booty hole. Relax. Your booty hole always gonna be your booty hole. Wait until you, what?
Ugh.
You on top. Let's get to this UDY video. Let's see who's gonna cheat. Why they always got Rolls Royces?
Together yet another loyalty test. This time we were helping Nico find out if his girlfriend Brittany was loyal to him or not.
Brittany, either she's black with braids or she's the snowiest snow bunny of all time.
What's the community, bro? Nothing. And it's all like,
Chill.
you feel me? Like, you're a dog, bro.
Damn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many piercings you got? Do septum piercings hurt?
That's what happens in the real world. You feel me?
To pull this off, we brought
They hurt.
some familiar faces.
I'm
Yeah?
to expose every single cheater out there to the best of my ability.
Here we go.
Will Brittany remain loyal, or will she end up trading Nico?
Nah, piercings is cool. It's just that I would just never. I'm always just a 2 earring type of guy. I was thinking about getting my nose pierced. Chat, should I get my nose pierced? Or hell nah?
But now you're talking because it's going to be.
We could.
No. In the coming week, we're going to be doing some live loyalty tests with Kai Cenat. If you or somebody that you know wanted to test their partner's loyalty and you wanted to do it live, fill out our new submission form below. It's a new form, so if you filled out
Kai Cenat loyalty test?
With that being said, get those stockings.
What's his girl look like?
Yo, how are you? So good to see you.
Wait, I'm so confused. So they're testing the boyfriend and the girlfriend at the same time?
Been good too.
Damn, her edges is...
Hey, Brittany, it's Naya.
Hey, girl.
I wanted to know if you're still gonna come today for 2:30 for the consultation.
Oh, yeah, we're still good for 2:30.
Perfect. So let me know if anything comes up.
I am coming from an appointment, but I'll let you know if I'm around later if you have
What's up, Jeremy?
Perfect.
That a 2K player.
Brittany works as a hair and makeup artist on the side. At Nico's direction, Naya reached out to her via Instagram. She DMs her makeup page, inquiring on a consultation. After some time, Naya eventually moved the conversation over to text and scheduled out a 2:30 p.m. meetup today.
Hey, Lon, what's good?
You guys loved him, so we had to bring him back. Daylon would be playing our decoy today. In other words, he would be the one asking Brittany on a date to see if she'll stay loyal.
You also played some football, right?
Yeah, man, I used to play quarterback back in the day.
Nice, okay. You're on the opposite side of the ball than me, so.
The dark side, huh?
You want her to be loyal, but I will do my best. We are.
What?
What type of glaze fest is this? So you gotta add. Stupid, man.
Yeah, it's nice. All right. Deja vu?
A little bit.
A little bit of
A little
deja vu?
PTSD for me.
Don't say that.
Too strong, brother.
Keep your head up.
Yeah.
Everything's almost back. I donated $3. Hello, Scout. I just want to see welcome back. You should react to a gay boy on TikTok and unban me on your disc, please. You big back, fine auguria.
Shut up, man.
Yo, hey, Will! Appreciate you, Will, with the 5-piece McNugget meal. Boy, what the this shop GOD chain? Hold on. Now let's see. Hold on. Let me grab my grills right quick. Let's compare this to my. Let's see my. Look at my this. Look at that. Boom. Hold on. I gotta make my unclear. Spot focus. Look at my. You see that? You see my shit glass? Hold on. Don't play with me. Nah, don't play with me. You see my shit glistening? All right. Now, anyways, right? If I don't have 10,000 subs and y'all see me pop out with a chain that says T-Banks and that is glistening, it's moissanite. All right, let's get back to the video. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. Them chains me $200,000. If y'all see me by my birthday with a big T-Banks chain, either I saved up a lot of money or that moissanite. I ain't even gonna lie, gang. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm sorry. I want a chain, but that all that 100, 200,000. But let's get back to the video though. Damn, big T.
Stay as optimistic and positive as you can.
Well, after hearing that, I'm like, oh,
Let's go, Anthony.
Black women don't cheat, so hopefully.
black men don't cheat either, so.
Black women might be the #1 demographic that cheat. No, snow bunnies first, black women second. No, Latinas first, snow bunny second, black woman third. 100%. Latinas will cheat like a. Don't get it.
Wanted to test his girlfriend was because she actually had one of her friends test his loyalty.
One of her friends was DMing me heavy for about 2 weeks. She was trying to hang out and whatnot.
Type.
So awkward. So I kind of ghosted the situation.
Type.
You know, hanging out all together, and she told me, she was like, yeah, bro, you did a good job. I'm like, you had a good job, you know? Like, what are you talking about? So then she gives me the backstory, like, yeah, that girl's testing you, you know? And that's why she's sitting me after you. I was like, oh, okay.
So it was your girlfriend's friend that came clean and told you everything what was going on.
Everything, which is awkward, right? I would feel like my girl should have told me, like, yeah, babe, I put you through this, you passed. But why did your friend tell me that I passed instead of you?
Why did your girl test you?
Honestly, I think it's because I'm a former athlete. I'm a bartender as well. So I work in the late nights industry. So
I ain't gonna lie, chat. If y'all want to get some money, you don't have no type of real technical skills, you don't want to go to school, or you don't want to do a trade. If you could become a fire-ass bartender, you can make a lot of money and no ball. I ain't gonna lie. If you get into bartending and you were actually fire-ass bartender, I ain't gonna lie, you can make a decent amount of money for yourself, like real nigga shit. You don't have to be in a rich city or a rich club, but that nigga, this don't look like he know what he's talking about. You would ask this nigga for a rum and coke, he might give you a vodka seltzer. Might gotta slap about this nigga. But
I have to flirt a lot, which is a part of the job. I mean, I gotta give my tips and whatnot, so I try to explain this to her.
Learn a type. Learn fast.
Listen. I keep it cordial. You know, I never take it to the extreme. I don't exchange information, numbers.
Where is this?
The time I do is.
Where is this vertical bars? That's not even a high tape. I got a high tape, and I got the best high tape in the game. Real. Once my lock and drop, nigga, I got the best high tape in the game. On God.
It's professional.
On my soul, I have the best high taper in the game.
You know, someone's like, yeah, do you bartend at weddings or something of that sort?
Now on top of pulling it into reverse, Nico does feel like she could be hiding something. According to him, she goes out a lot, and if she already thinks that he's doing something, what is she doing?
I want her to hang with her friends, you know, go hang out, get on my Facebook a little bit, then come back on to me, you know? But I'm a little skeptical because
She can't have a mind of her own.
yeah, for sure. I think, you know, I'm hoping she stays loyal when they're out and whatnot. That's all I like to think.
Do you usually work as a bartender like Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yes, usually on the weekends, so, you know.
And does she go out?
Time.
Yeah, she goes
exactly.
out while you're working and all that.
Yeah, I get out
there together.
We do not live together.
I can see Nico's reasoning for wanting to test Brittany, but at the same time, I can also see her reasoning for testing him. I mean, he literally said that he flirts with his customers. Now, granted, he did say it was just for tips, but is he telling the truth? I'm gonna be honest, something wasn't sitting right with me, and unfortunately, I had some doubts. I didn't feel right about helping him find out if his girlfriend was cheating, if he was cheating as well. Since
Can we see the niggas? We haven't seen this nigga girlfriend
he
yet.
decided to wing it and test him too. Yeah, for the first time ever in beauty history, we are pulling a test within a test. And Naya's gonna be our decoy. This was off the dome, guys. I didn't think about testing this guy until we sat down and...
Guys, come show love to my stream. Time that out for eternity. Give that 3 eons of time. I'm dead ass serious. Time that out for 18 eons of life. I'm so serious. Like that will ever never be able to speak again.
Had that conversation. Before that, he was clean. After that, I don't know. I'm gonna connect 2 more cameras. You just let me know if you can, okay? We isolated Nico in our control room and planned to send in Naya to hit on him. At this time, we were still setting up, so there was no way this man thought any hidden cameras or hidden microphones were rolling in. And so, after giving it some time, we sent in Naya to make her move.
Oh, so wow. Oh shit.
I remember I was nervous too. So you just have
So they sent in the decoys.
what to expect, you know?
Nah, you don't have to mute them out. Levy, you good. Let the TikTok you say what they want.
You really do look familiar. What bar do you work at? You said you bartend, right?
Yeah, bar downtown.
Downtown.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that I saw you last weekend. Like, it has to be you. I mean, tall, handsome. I can't answer that. That had to
Oh, the bitch, you ain't see me.
I remember you. That's crazy.
What did Granny say to me?
It was strong, real good. I remember telling my friend, like, damn, I should have, like, said something, got his number or something. Like,
Oh, that one.
it was you, for sure. How often do you work? Like,
Usually on the weekends.
weekends?
A couple weekends.
Well, yeah, maybe I can get your number so the next time, like, oh, I could let you know, you can make me a drink, and maybe we can, like, kick it after or something.
You gotta keep it cold, dude. You gotta go, of course. But I wouldn't mind. Maybe you're right.
For sure. I ain't ever going.
See, okay, he's saving himself. Nah, he low key. But look, he's low key doing the method as a that's never ever cheated in his life. I'm gonna tell you something, right? Be honest with you. If a say we gotta keep it cordial, but still is accepting your number, he knows this may potentially get back to his girl, so he's trying to save himself as much as possible. Real nigga shit. Every that doesn't straight up decline you, say I cannot take your number, no, I'm okay, boom, bam, bop, I have a woman at home. If a is slick trying to be like, you know what I'm saying, yo, yeah, I got, you know what I'm saying, I have a girl, so it's, you know, if a is doing that, if the don't care about your girlfriend, you already know what it is if she ever makes her way back to your house. It's over. You're going to be clapping at her. Because she don't give a fuck about your... She don't care. And women are worse than... Women will really show themselves that they don't really care about your girlfriend. Real shit. Nigga said WCAP, but just chill.
That's pretty good. And so with that, Nico passes. Maybe he was on his best behavior, but I definitely don't think he knew that we were recording this.
That's crazy how life works, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this pass was enough for me. I felt a little bad that I doubted this man, but I'm glad we got the down and double standard out. We are good to move forward with this test.
This is where you're going to be stinking out?
Hey, look. So how you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. I would honestly say that I feel from the situation.
Yeah.
I think
oh, yeah, his girl got...
Active, become up their thoughts.
Yo, we got 2K here. Yo, W2K. Yo, didn't we at the max shit hit like 2.7? Yeah, it did cheat on him though. But didn't we hit like 2.7